Hello. Welcome to this installment of Kingdom Things podcast. My name is Ashley Nicole Phillips, and I am a channel for the divine. I am a channel for God. I am a channel for the Most High White Light Creator energy. Now, however you perceive God, however you perceive the force behind creation, as there are many gods, there are many forces behind creations, as God is plural, many and all, at the same time one. God is plural, many and all, and at the same time one. God is plural, many and all, at the same time one. However you perceive God, the energy of the force behind creation, take it that way. Perceive God, when I say God or the Creator, that way. It was intended to be that way. It was intended for all of us, every dimension and aspect of creation, to have different perceptions, different interpretations and views on creation or self. It was intended that way. Why? Creation is God experiencing God. Creation is self experiencing self. As every human being is a different dimension and aspect of God or self, as we are different, as we show up different, as we perceive different, we create different realities, we create vibrance, we create texture, we create variances in which we're able to experience as God experiencing God in order to glow and glean more about God or self. So again, my name is Ashley Nicole Phillips, and I am a channel for the Most High White Light Creator energy. Now, within the Kingdom Things podcast, I channel different messages and energies, and part of my purpose, part of the creation that is I, part of the creation of the energy that is me, that is manifesting this physicality in front of this camera at this moment, is to assist with the upliftment of the human consciousness. Part of my purpose, part of the creation, the alchemization of energy that is I, is to assist with the upliftment of the human consciousness. Now, God seated within me a priority to share with the world in order to fulfill on this planet reality, on this planet dimensionality, and with the understanding that within the next 10 years is 2023. All of the Kingdom Things podcast content is timeless, but at this time it is 2023. God says within 10 years, you will be in the stream, humanity, planet Earth will be in the stream of energies and consciousness, higher consciousness, to understand that we will be a human culture of the planet called Earth with no famine. We will be a human culture of the planet called Earth with no disease. We will be a human culture of the planet called Earth with no poverty, no famine, with world peace. God seated this understanding within me to share with the world. At this time, we are experiencing an experience in which this plane of reality, this culture, has never experienced, as we are awakening in mass. This is the mass great awakening. Now, we have termed other eras in our culture of the human being of planet Earth as, the Great Awakening. This is a spiritual awakening. This is a physiological awakening. This is a biological awakening as our DNA is coming online. What is this spiritual awakening? What is this mass spiritual awakening that we are experiencing, which is creating a reality that we may perceive as chaotic? What is this that we're experiencing that is creating a reality that we may perceive as chaotic? What is this that we are experiencing that is creating a reality that we may perceive as chaotic? Our DNA is coming online. Our DNA is activating. Our DNA is activating. As we know, as our scientists have noted, we only operate or have an active DNA receptivity of 3 to 6%, 3 to 7%. A very small portion of our DNA is active. A very small portion of our DNA is utilized within our beingness, within our reality. A very small percentage of our DNA is being utilized within our beingness, within our reality. A very small percentage of our DNA is being utilized in our beingness, in our reality. The mass awakening is our DNA coming online. As we are energies having human experiences, we are energies that manifest within this reality, within this physicality, having human experiences. Much of our genome has been inactivated. Much of our genome has been offline. Much of who we are has been inactivated. Much of who we are has been offline. Much of who we are has been inactive. Much of who we are has been offline. Much of who we are has been inactive. Much of who we are has been offline. The mass awakening is our DNA activating. The mass awakening is us awakening to higher consciousness or higher perception of our truths. I'm super excited on this Kingdom Things podcast. It's a meetup. It's a Kingdom Things podcast meetup. We will be getting channeled messages from Nefertiti. We will be getting channeled messages from Nefertiti, channeled energies as well as messages from Nefertiti. We will be getting a channeled message, channeled energy from Bastet, the goddess Bastet, as well as we will be getting a channeled message, channeled energies from the goddess Sekhmet, the Egyptian goddess Sekhmet. Now, as we awaken and come online, our realities are going to expand. I'm being guided to just go ahead and pull up some key information about the goddess Sekhmet, about the goddess Bastet, and about Nefertiti. So, what is Sekhmet the goddess of? Sekhmet, whose name means she who is powerful, or the one who loves Mayat. She who is powerful, or the one who loves Mayat, was the goddess of the hot desert sun, plague, chaos, war, and healing. Sekhmet was the goddess of the hot desert sun, plague, chaos, war, and healing. She was created from the fire of the sun god, Ra's eye, when he looked upon earth. So Amun-Ra is Sekhmet's father. Amun-Ra is Sekhmet's father. Now let's go ahead and look up Bastet, the goddess Bastet. So Bastet was the goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health. Bastet was the goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health. She had the head of a cat and a slender female body. Bastet was the daughter of Ra, sister of Sekhmet, the wife of Ptah, and the mother of Maios. Since the second dynasty, Bastet was worshipped as a deity, most commonly in Lower Egypt. So Bastet was a feline. She is a feline humanoid being. Bastet is a feline humanoid being. As we awaken to many more facets of ourselves, many more facets of reality, many more facets of the plural and oneness of God, we are going to awaken to the understanding which Mayat actually channeled through me on the meetup in which I did with Mayat, which is on the Kingdom Things podcast channel, available on YouTube as well as Spotify. Mayat channeled through me that many of the things and stories that many of the beings and stories that we perceive as mythology, many of the beings and stories that we perceive as mythology, many of the beings and stories that we perceive as mythology are in all actuality, reality. Many of the beings and stories that we perceive as mythology are in all actuality, reality, but they're realities and understandings that reside outside of the box, outside of the paradigm that we were consciously stagnated within, with the stagnated consciousness in which we operated out of through our 3 to 7% DNA activity. So I'm going to go ahead and sit back. Nefertiti says she doesn't need an introduction. I'm going to go ahead and sit back, and Nefertiti will channel through me. Nefertiti will Nefertiti will channel through me. Here we go. Feel free to close your eyes in order to allow the energies and messages to resonate with your being. All of the Kingdom Things podcasts, along with the messages, are healing energies. Consult your doctors for any personal, professional, healing medical advice. I am in no way offering personal, professional, healing medical advice. I am in no way offering personal, professional, medical healing advice. I am in no way offering personal, professional, medical healing advice. Here we go. Thank you beforehand, Nefertiti. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ashley, for having me. I'm beyond over the moon excited for this time, this jubilee in creation, as we are becoming one again. But a oneness in which is beyond the parameters and understandings of even the greatest empires and dynasties of the creations of the dimensionality and planes of Earth. As dear human beings, you see everything that has happened, past, perceived present, perceived future, is happening now. Everything that has happened, perceived past, perceived present, perceived future, Ashley is excited for what's coming, the message that's coming. Everything that is happening, perceived past, perceived present, perceived future, is in all actuality happening at once. Dear human beings, as your DNA begins to come online, things such as telepathy, things such as time travel, things such as astral travel, things such as teleportation will become mundane within your reality. Why? Your functionality and who you truly are is the things in which you perceived as mythology, is and are the things in which you perceived as fantasy. As dear human beings, you have but grazed the functionality, the purpose of your beingness. Dear human beings, you have but yet grazed grazed the functionality, the purpose of your beingness. Dear human beings, you have yet but to graze. You have yet but to graze. You have yet but to graze the functionality and the purpose of your beingness. As your DNA continues to activate, you will awaken to things that seem out of this world because, dear ones, they are out of your world. The world in which you created before, as the understanding, the universal law that you perceive reality as you are, is an understanding which you have already gleaned in your human culture as the human being of planet Earth. Dear human beings, you are not human beings. You are the human being of planet Earth as you share a consciousness. Dear human beings, you are the human being of planet Earth as you share a consciousness. Dear human beings, you are the human being of planet Earth as you share a consciousness. Your perception, your dualistic perception as you choose sides and don't allow yourself to explore within the side in which you have decided is your preference, is the cause for the imbalance within yourself and the imbalance within your society. As below, dear ones, your dualistic perceptions in which you choose a side to prefer and then do not allow yourself to explore that other dimension of yourself, the other side in which you have chosen not to prefer, is what causes the imbalance, is what causes the disease, is what causes the war, is what causes the perceived chaos. Allow yourselves to unfold into new understandings of yourselves in order to allow yourself to unfold into new understandings of what, who, where, when, how reality actually is, actually works, actually is actualized. Ashley wants me to speak about myself as she has gleaned some understandings about myself. She has an understanding that ancient Egypt was a civilization that was activated well beyond your current state of activated, dear human being of planet Earth. Ashley has an understanding, she has gleaned the understanding that the ancient Egyptians were activated in their DNA the capacity of their DNA well beyond the current human being's activation within its DNA. What does that mean? Things such as telepathy, teleportation, as well as telekinesis were of the mundane of much of ancient Egyptian royalty. As these things, the activation of our DNA, of the ancient royal Egyptians, was something that was kept amongst the royals because this is how God intended the story to be. This is how God intended the story to be. Telekinesis, telepathy, teleportation were part of the mundane society within ancient Egyptian royalty because we were activated in our higher levels of consciousness. Our DNA was activated into higher levels of consciousness. Our DNA was activated into higher levels of consciousness. The ancient Egyptian royalty was afforded this luxury, as this is how God intended for the story to be. Dear human being of planet Earth, you are all being welcomed to glean, understand, and activate further into self. How do you do this? You go within self and meet the dimensions and aspects of self, acknowledge and transcend or integrate the dimensions and aspects of self in which you have turned a blind eye to, in which you have decided not to allow to be the understanding of who you are, as you have created a distance between yourself and those dimensions and aspects of the human being of planet Earth, in which you have decided was unworthy of your attention, in which you have decided is unworthy of your acknowledgement. As you allow yourself to acknowledge, transcend, or integrate those dimensions and aspects of the human being of planet Earth, you allow yourselves to transcend it to higher states of consciousness. You allow yourself to transcend it to higher states of functionality. You allow yourself to extend into higher states of being, peace, internal balance, which creates a society, a human being, a human culture, a planet Earth, a peace, a balance. Thank you, Ashley. So we will now go and head into the channeling of the goddess Bastet. Channeling of the goddess Bastet, again, the goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health, a feline humanoid being. Bastet is a feline humanoid being. And I'm being guided to share a story through my process of activating and gleaning more of myself. I was guided by the other dimensions and aspects of myself, or my spirit guides, my spirit team, to look at different ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and pictographs. And I was downloaded with the understanding that the beings, which are, with the heads of jackals and the heads of felines, these beings are not fictional, but these beings are other dimensions and aspects of God. These beings are other dimensions and aspects of God or creation that we have yet to be exposed to, as we have been in our box of lower consciousness. We have yet to be exposed to these beings. We only allow into our reality that in which we are activated into. As we begin to activate into our higher consciousness, further activate into our DNA, we are going to be exposed to these beings in which we have never been exposed to before, such as Bastet, which she is a feline humanoid goddess. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Bastet to channel through myself. Thank you ahead of time, Bastet. Thank you. I bow to the goddess in you. We will channel again. I just channeled through Ashley. The camera wasn't recording. We will channel again, as I am more than grateful to do so. Dear human beings, I am transcending or descending from a reality that dwells of higher consciousness, dwells in energies of higher consciousness, dwells with energies of beings with activated DNA functionality. Dear human beings, you are beginning to transcend into these realities into your own reality, your own creation of higher consciousness, higher DNA functionality. What will you create, dear human being? What will you create, dear human being? It is your choice. It is your choice of what you will create. You will begin to be exposed to dimensions and aspects of yourself in which you once thought were a dream, and which you might feel yourself losing it or slipping into psychosis. But you must understand, your understanding of a mental disorder in all actuality is copacetic, as everything in God's creation is meant to be as it is to be when it is. Everything in God's creation is meant to be as it is to be when it is. Everything in God's creation is meant to be as it is to be when it is. Allow yourselves to be different. Allow yourself to be different. You have an energetic working in your consciousness that magnetizes and perpetuates a herd mentality in which you all want to be, look, act, feel, do the same things. But understand, as you activate further into higher consciousness, you will begin to activate into a vibrancy, a pattern of differences. Yes, many of you will be, look, act, and do many of the same things, but you will do many of the same things within your own frequential encodement, within your own DNA activation, within your own unique genome patterning, which will create your own unique doing, and that thing that looks similar to the doing of others. As your DNAs begin to activate, your reality will look as if it is in disorder, but in all actuality, it is in excellent order or copacetic. As you, dear human beings, begin to activate into further functionality of your DNA, you will begin to perceive a self and reality of disorder, but understand that the disorder in which you perceive in yourself and your reality is of excellent order or copacetic. As you begin to further activate into your DNA, dear human beings, understand that the 97% that you begin to activate will perpetuate the perception of disorder, but understand that disorder is an excellent order, as the DNA that you begin to activate into, it is a process in which your precepts of understandings will not be able to encapsulate. As you begin to activate into your DNA, the 97% of your DNA that has been inactive, the precepts in which you once held within your 3 to 7%, 3 to 6% of DNA activation will not be able to encapsulate, to be able to engage, be able to harness, be able to control that in which you are beginning to activate into. As you experience this mass awakening within your plane of dimensionality as a dear human being of planet Earth. Thank you, Ashley. We will now go ahead and I will now go ahead and channel, allow Sekhmet, the energies of the goddess Sekhmet, to channel through myself. Here we go. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ashley. I feel honored to be here. I feel honored to be here. Individuality. Individuality is something that you must get used to, because, dear human being of planet Earth, you are an individual. You are an individual. You are a creation in which was not meant to fit any mold. You are a creation in which has no blueprint to follow. You are a creation in which you are creating as you go. You are designing, writing your own story as you go. What will you create, dear human being? Let it be a story of balance. Let it be a story of peace. Let it be a story of allowing yourselves to flow into greater understanding of yourself, allowing yourself to relinquish the perpetual cycles of dualistic perception in which you Don't allow yourself to be and acknowledge all of the dimensions of self as you are truly oneness. You are truly oneness as, dear human being, you embody the energies of all of creation. Dear human being, you have the potential to embody the energies of all of creation, and at the same time, the potential to embody the frequencies of the highest creator energy, the highest prime source energy, the highest white light energy. You consider humanity to be an oxymoron to God, but in all actuality, our Creator is asking humanity to balance humanity, humanism, with God, with the Creator, with the Most High White Light energy, to balance all of your seemingly imperfections with the balance of the perfection. To go within and acknowledge, transcend, or integrate all of your seemingly imperfections in order to be able to tap into the higher consciousness of the perfection, the highest white light creator energy. Dear human being, you are being asked to create creation. You are being asked to embody creation, to manifest creation. You're being guided and asked to manifest creation. You're being guided and asked to manifest creation into physicality. As you embody, you have the potential to activate all of the energies, access all of the energies of infinite creation, of our Creator, of God, with utilizing the highest white light creator energy or higher consciousness to manifest reality, infinite creation into physicality. No longer will reality possess or demonstrate illusions or trick mirrors, but reality will be manifested so that reality is creation, reality is physical, reality is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omni-structured, a structure of oneness, a structure of oneness. Thank you, Ashley. I want to thank y'all so much for joining me on this Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Thank you, Nefertiti. Thank you, Sekhmet, the goddess. Thank you, Bastet, the goddess. Thank you, Nefertiti, the goddess. Thank you all for joining me on this Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Again, any energies and messages that resonate in your heart space, you're more than welcome to align with those energies and messages on your own personal journey of growth, expansion, and activation. Please leave what does not. Please leave what does not. Please leave what does not resonate in your heart space. I am holding or taking I am offering spiritual services. So I have my powwow sessions, my spiritual powwow sessions, in which I channel specific energies and messages to yourself, and which your higher divine aspects of self want you to experience and glean in order for you to step into more balanced perceptions, more expanded perceptions of yourself, and in turn, a more peaceful self, and in turn, a more expanded and expansive reality. If you feel guided to experience one of my spiritual power sessions, please go to kingdomthingspodcast.com to go ahead and book sessions with myself. I also have mediumship channeling sessions in which I channel loved ones and relatives of yourselves that are transcended into higher states of awareness, have transcended into higher states of awareness. You can book one of my mediumship channeling sessions at kingdomthingspodcast.com as well. I'm also an author. My literature is also available in the link of my link tree in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast meetup, as well as my music. I'm a singer-songwriter. Ashton Nicole Music, available on YouTube and wherever you stream your music. I'm available in the link, my link tree in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Thank you again, goddesses, deities that joined me on this Kingdom Things podcast meetup. Thank you, Infinite Creation. Thank you, my spirit guides, my spirit team, myself, my divine aspects of self. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for demonstrating and showing me how to love unconditionally, as you have not given up on me. You have not given up on me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Love on yourself. Self-love is the best love, because you have to love yourself in the way in which you want your reality to love you back. Self-love is the best love because you're deserving of the best love, because you are the best love in your truest truths. Show that love to yourself first. Self-love is the best love because the way you treat yourself is how you're programming yourself to view yourself. Is how you're programming yourself to create your reality. The way you treat yourself is how you program to view yourself, is how you program yourself to program your reality. The way you treat yourself is how you program yourself to view yourself, is how you program yourself to program your reality. Love on yourself. Love on yourself. Again, my name is Ashton Nicole Phillips. Bye.